Breaking Brown fam, what's going on? First of all, I want to tell you there's not a show tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Not a show. And I'm going to wait to the end of this video to tell you why there's not a show. Some big changes are happening, and I want to let you know first. But the reason that I'm doing this video right now is because you all know I like to frame everything. And one of the questions that I keep getting that I would really like to do a show about, one of the questions that I keep getting from everybody is, well, Yvette, are you a socialist? Are you a capitalist? Because you seem to have something against capitalism. You seem to have something against capital. You seem to be, anti-capitalist. And here's what I've kind of touched on this on the show. But from my perspective, there is not one ideology. There is not one political system. There is not one anything that anyone should be married to if they're African American. We should do what works for us, and that's it. If you come up with something that's going to benefit us materially, what do I mean by materially? I mean food, water, shelter. Do you have what it takes to be a part of a stable community? Are you insecure? Are you lacking? Do you have everything that you need? And for us, I think we need something in addition to. But what I find very disturbing is this sort of cult of capitalism, I want to call it. Where we idolize people like Donald Trump. We idolize people like Diddy. They're super capitalists, and we want to be super capitalists, right? That's how this whole thing works. But see, the problem with believing that business people are the best people and they solve all the problems is that you end up with Donald Trump. Now, I'm not saying whoever the president is, that we should not meet with that person, that we should not have that conversation. I've always said that. That we should meet with who's ever in the White House. But let me tell you, one of the things that we should learn from this is that Donald Trump does not have the expertise to run the country. And he's a multimillionaire, claims he's a billionaire. What does that tell you about other barons of industry? Now, that's the first point. The second point I'll make is this. I don't know, and this is going to hit people kind of hard. And I've kind of alluded to it before. But I don't know if African Americans, morally, not intellectually or anything, morally, in terms of our values, I don't know if African Americans have what it takes to be super capitalists. I don't know if we have what it takes to be capitalists. I'll give an example. On my Facebook page, earlier today, somebody commented that African Americans should take the business back from the Korean hair business back. We should take that back. We should take that business back. Well, the problem is African Americans don't have the level of viciousness required to snatch or take anything on that level. I'm talking about a collective. I'm not talking about somebody in Chicago. I'm not talking about, people who say, oh, what a crime rate, the crime rate, they got. No. I'm talking about as a collective group of people. And part of that has to do with the way that we have gotten ahead. And not even ahead, but the way that we've gotten to be still alive after what we've been through. The way that we have secured ourselves after what we've been through is by collectively doing with and for each other. And we don't really want to get in the way of anybody doing anything. So what we say when we see somebody who has something, what we say is, well, don't matter. Let that why you hating? And here's something that you need to keep in mind. A lot of people seem to confuse hating with competition. You're not hating on a dry cleaner in your community if you start another dry cleaner, like, oh, why you hating on that? Why you hating on that Korean or whatever? And I'm not talking about just Koreans. I'm talking about the example that somebody gave in the Facebook. You're not hating on anybody because capitalism is about competition. You have this idea in your mind, and we have this idea in our mind as African Americans, as though everything, there's enough for everybody. There is enough for everybody. But what we don't understand is that there's one pie. And everybody gets a cut of that pie. If you want to know why, And I've said this before, but if you want to know why people go to Capitol Hill, it's to get a piece of that pie. They'll cover it in anything. Well, I have this thing I want to do. I have this thing I want to start. I have this. No, the reason they go is to get a piece of that pie because that's where the money's at. And there's not enough pie to go around. Now, see, other people realize there's not enough pie to go around, and they doggone near kill each other because that's what capitalism is. It's a vicious competition. How can you want to be a part of, forget about the fact that we don't have the wealth. How can you want to be a part of that vicious competition if you don't have what it takes internally in terms of what you're willing to do? And I'm not saying we should necessarily. I'm saying that to be that person who wants to do what's right for everybody and let everybody have what they want to the expense of what we have. Since there's one pie. So you having 4 slices of pies means that I only have 1 slice of pie. But you say you go get yours. If you are that person, I don't know if we are those people in this group. I don't know how we can say capitalism is for us. Because you can look up the history of Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and all those people. And what you'll find is quite simple. They tried to kill each other. I mean, I'm not talking about physically, but they tried to take each other out in terms of their business. And people don't say, well, I have my business, you have, when did Apple and Microsoft say, well, I have my market share and you have yours? That was a vicious competition. There still is a competition. You think anyone, and these people will collude one day and make deals one day and try to take each other out the next day. That's what they do. That's the viciousness of it all. And so I want you to understand, and I don't understand how you say to me, well, Yvette, we can be capitalists just like them. No, like a lot of us are good and decent people. I think you have to try to figure out who you are, even with immigration, right? When you say, well, Yvette, you're just, I don't know what's wrong with you. You're so anti-immigrant. No, I'm not. I'm not anti-immigrant. I understand that cheap labor in this country means less for natives in this country. In terms of they drop the floor down because they're desperate, they come from desperate countries. That's why Republicans and Democrats are on the same page. You ever wonder why? Because they're all part of the same elite. So they're on the same page. And so I want you to think about and really look at what it takes to be a capitalist. And really look, the most of black capitalists that we have right now, they're exploiting other black people. So I want you to really look at what it means to be a capitalist and really ask yourself, if black people are a good fit for that. I'm not telling you, I'm not telling you anything. I'm telling you to have an honest conversation with yourself about what it means to be that person. Even if you had the wealth, what it means to compete against people like this and to be exploitive in this kind of way. You can make any decision that you want to make about what you want to do and how you want to do it. And I say it here again. I'm just here to put money in black people's pockets. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I'm here to give you the education to do it and to provide some guideposts in terms of what I think we can do collectively, politically. But if you can't be the person to go and snatch the other man's cookies, because people say, well, you get yours, he got his, I'm going to get mine. No, the way he got his was taking his. They don't care. If you can't do that or you don't want to do that, I just wonder how you can then turn around and say, but I'm a capitalist. So, ladies and gentlemen, about the show tonight, what's happening is Irene's doing his Black Athenians things on Fridays now, and that's going to take a lot of his time. We both have agendas in terms of how we want to see this thing going. Like, what is the next step? What is the next step of this project? And I think he's going to go in a direction of doing his Black Athenians things. I think I have some other projects that I'm interested in doing that are going to take me in a different direction, as opposed to talking about white terrorism and things like that. I want to do something different. So I think right now we're going to do something different. Okay, so that's where we are right now. We're just both going to kind of do different things. In terms of the show will kind of be on hiatus for a little while because I got to move some stuff around, get some stuff over here, move the show location. So what you'll be seeing in the interim is more quick hits. And if you want to support, I was there last week, and if you want to go over to Irene's, The Funky Academic, you can see his YouTube, The Black Athenians, from last week. And you can every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's where we are right now, Breaking Brown family. Once again, you can go to Donate Brown and you can, donate. You can go to Subscribe to Brown. Subscribe. You're not subscribing just in case, like most of the time I don't put up a video when I'm not going to be on. I just want to make that other announcement. But most of the time I'll send out an email. And so that'll save you from trying to figure out, well, what happened to Yvette tonight? She ain't here. Where'd she go? So we're just going to do that for a minute. And we're going to see. And, don't forget the newsletter, $2 a month. You can go to breakingbrown.com and do that. All right? So I'll see you all soon.